Hello and welcome to the Thoroughbred Breeders podcast, brought to you by the Thoroughbred Breeders Association. I'm Naomi Meller, CEO of the TBA, and it's my pleasure to be your host today. At the TBA, we are here to support you, to help you learn, to nurture your interest, and to answer any questions you may have as you breed, care for, and maintain your passion for these wonderful animals. We're also all about growing the fantastic community that exists in thoroughbred breeding, wherever you are in the world. In each episode, we'll be discussing developments, news, stories, and experiences, and helping you to feel connected to our work and your community. You can follow us on socials at thetba.gb, and do feel free to email us. We'd love to hear from you, and we're at info@thetba.co.uk. Now, on with the show. This month sees GCSE and A-level results coming out. It is August and there are 2 days in the diary for anybody who is at that level that holds all sorts of fear and trepidation, usually unnecessarily, because there are loads of options as to what you can do or those around you can do. And we thought that given those dates are in the diary, that we would have a little chat to Abbie Taylor from the National Stud, who does fantastic work there. I'll let her introduce herself properly. But the National Stud is such a vital part of the breeding and bloodstock industry. We work really closely together, the TBA and the National Stud, and we have great relationships between us. So we thought it'd be a cracking opportunity to get Abbie on to talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening there. So Abbie, thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely to see you as usual.
Thank you.
Do you want to just tell us a little bit about, for anyone who doesn't know or isn't aware of the National Stud, it's fairly obvious, it's quite a Ron Seal name, but where are you, who are you, what do you do, who do you cater for, etc., etc. Do you want to give us a brief overview as an opener, Abbie?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Abbie Taylor, as Naomi rightly pointed out, and I am the education manager at the National Studs. So my job is to oversee, develop any form of education, bloodstock education program. And then alongside that, we provide quite a small team. So we do all of the training for the students. We offer external CPD events. We do workplace learning, and quite a new addition to the program as we run apprenticeships, which started last year, which we run in partnership with Myerscough College, which has been very successful. The Stud have been running education programs for over 50 years. We've got alumni all over the world, working for leading, breeding enterprises. It's a brilliant overall program, and we're really, really proud of what it's done, what it's achieved, and where it's going to go in the future.
Definitely. And it's of vital importance to the breeding and bloodstock sector, as I mentioned, because you are the only training location in the UK that can provide that real practical hands-on experience of work on a commercial stud farm. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the horses? I know you foaled down a lot of mares this year, Abs, didn't you? And you've got stallions as well. Do you want to just talk people through what have you got and what sort of things will people get experience with? Because it's not just one or two broodmares that someone might see an odd foaling of here and there, right?
So we stand an exciting roster of stallions, as well as we foaled 176 mares this year. Wow. We also consign, so we have our own drafts going to a range of different sales, and we spell as well. We board mares. And we also have the wonderful living legends. So the students have real hands-on experience working with an array of bloodstock, from foals right through to horses that are just out of training for a rest, and stallions. It's really unique, the programs that we run, because it's very, very hands-on. It's vocational education, working to achieve a first for sport qualification, which is a work-based qualification. Therefore, you're getting hands-on experience which is relevant and developing relevant employability skills. The Stud is we're a commercial farm, and the students are working alongside staff. Therefore, they very much have an awareness of what it's like when they move into industry, the expectations, from things such as client communication, how our staff deal with clients, right through to equine welfare, and also dealing with other professionals on a day-to-day basis.
And certainly the feedback we receive from employers, stud managers and owners in the sector is always really positive about those that come out of the National Stud. And I have had the good fortune of meeting some of your previous graduates who are now doing a whole range of things in the industry. And it's fair to say that that breadth of skills that you mention, all the way through from office-based nominations and across to looking after the horses on the ground directly, liaising with the professionals that come in, they get such a wide range of experience, Abbie, which is incredible. So on that point, you mentioned First for Sport qualifications. The Thoroughbred Industry Access Programme is a programme which the TBA supports alongside the National Stud as well. And you guys are delivering that brilliantly. And we've got a number of learners on that course at the moment. That's a 4-month, so 16-week programme that takes people through a whole range of stuff, as I mentioned. Do you want to just talk a little bit about that and the kind of experiences that people get on the TIAP, Abbie, and also what people have gone on to do, so we can kind of raise awareness about the fact that that exists and it is brilliant?
Absolutely. It's a real vital program because it provides access to an industry where people perceive that there are barriers. This specific program is run from April to August with rolling start date. You don't have to have any prior experience to starting, or if you've got generic equine experience and want to have an introduction to stud work, it's always also a brilliant opportunity. So this year we have a range of learners on it. The majority have never touched horses previous to starting with us, and they start right from the beginning. Obviously, once you covered health and safety, they turn out, we teach them everything from head collaring to bridling, leading. We were really lucky that our learners got to see the end of the foaling. We've had learners that have shown great progress and developed relevant skills really quickly that have been assisting across all yards. We've had them going to the sales this year, which is a first time for us. So we're really, really lucky to have employers that want to offer the opportunity. And actually, when they're there, they've been showing horses. They took 3 of them took horses through the ring this year. Alongside their program, they have complimentary lectures to teach them the theory behind the practice. So although they are doing and they're carrying out practical work, they need to understand why they're doing it, and sometimes sitting down and having discussions about why we do certain things. So it's a really nice cohort of individuals that we get. In terms of progress, we have a good kind of progression rate from this. So we have several that will progress into our level 3. So when we look at the graduates from last year's program, we had a handful that went into the level 3 course, and the level 3 offers kind of a step up. So it really gives them hands-on foaling, a lot of hands-on foaling. A lot of them are foaling double figures. The sales placements with leading consigners. So they're developing their skills even further. And on the back of that, we've had them go into employment as stud hands. We've had several go to Australia. We're really well supported by Widden Farm in Australia. Ben Walsh is fantastic at offering students opportunities. They learn different skills out there. It might be that they go for 6 months or a year or a bit longer, but they are foaling, obviously, in terms of frequency, a lot more than we are over here. It's also like a sharing of experience with individuals that are working over there from Australia, and it's really nice to see them progress and do really, really well. But the aim for that is to get them into employment. If they thought maybe it wasn't something they could access 4 months earlier, because they never even think about how they could get to the sport and know how they get into the sport. So it's a brilliant program. We're really, really pleased with how it's running. It is very hands-on, very practical. There's lots of mucking out involved, as there is with any work, but then they go into the industry knowing that is to be expected. They have the confidence and the resilience and the professional behaviours to help them progress, which helps retention, which is really, really important as well in the long run.
That definitely is, isn't it? And actually being career ready is so vital. It's something that I think we don't talk about enough is, there's a certain amount of knowledge, but then there's also just life skills that go along with that. And I think developing, nurturing, training for all of that is something that you're doing really well with those people. And you've obviously got those initial 16 weeks. You mentioned the level 3 that some people go on to, Abbie, which is if the TIAP is the kind of entry point for someone who might not have touched a horse before, level 3 is 26 weeks. So effectively 2 terms worth of learning, which is the next step on for getting people really into the industry and really, really ready. I think it's just going back to what you said about Widden and going to Australia. It's such a brilliant part of the bloodstock and breeding industry, this international nature of things, and the fact that we have seasons in different hemispheres really offers people those opportunities to travel, to work, to experience things elsewhere, and then to come back and be reintegrated into the industry here and bring that knowledge, those skills, those practices with them. I think that's so cool, isn't it?
It's so, so cool. And I think often the perception is that they're going to go over and stay there. Believe it or not, a lot of our learners don't want to do more than 6 months or a year, but the skills they're bringing back are so, so vital. They might, like we say, we fold a lot of mares this year here at the stud, but you could fold 10 mares and it's the 11th that could be, throw something a bit unusual. And going over there means that they're foaling, like I said, a lot more often. They foal larger numbers, they're foaling out. And they are getting a lot, they're having a lot of responsibility as soon as they land practically, and they come back different people, not only confident, much more resilient and independent, but also they've been able to put their practical skills they've learned here into practice over there, and then bring all their knowledge back that they've learned as well. So they are coming back to good jobs as well, but the perception of them not coming back is not actually correct. They do come back.
That's so nice, isn't it? And actually, I think that the fallacy that we're losing those people to the British workforce, because I know we're obviously worried about recruitment as well as retention, as people within the industry and the employers listening to this. I think I have had a few say to me, "Oh gosh, I'd be quite worried if they go to Australia or America or anywhere else that they won't come back and we lose them. So we put this time into training people and developing them, and then we don't get them back again." And it's actually really interesting for you to say, Abbie, that pretty much all of your learners have gone, they've enjoyed themselves, they've learned loads, they've got great experiences, but they have come back, and those people are not lost to us here in the UK. They're brought back by whatever factor that is, whether it's friends or family or the excellent weather or whatever, like something's bringing them back, and we shouldn't be too worried about that. It's an opportunity, not a negative.
Exactly. When we think of like normal education, we send, like we have students that, leave their hometowns and travel all over the UK, but what they're building is like professional relationships, they're learning new skills, but we never question that. I see it like that. It's a part of their learning journey that's only going to be of benefit. And like you rightly said, a lot of the time, family or friends, or actually the longing to be here in the Northern Hemisphere does bring them back. But they've got those contacts for the future. I've had students being sent back, and so, for example, if they shuttle stallions, they come back to the UK farm and they work here. They are working to the standard that farm expects, and also they're retaining really good staff that are really skilled and have kind of a really broad idea of what the industry is, and an understanding of what that business specifically aims to do. And it's a benefit, it's a real benefit. And it's always so frightening when you send the real young ones over. I've sent an 18-year-old over this year, sent 2 18-year-olds the year before, but where they're going to go and what they are doing now, especially for the graduates, is from a couple of years ago, it is just brilliant. So I've got one running a foaling unit somewhere. I've got one that started her own broodmare band, and she's foaled down. She's actually got a Lopa Fernandez, but she's foaled down her own mares, and she's actually started a vet nursing career. And they are still within the sport. They just have a whole different skill range that we couldn't necessarily give them here, or they wouldn't develop here without spending years and years and years working on a farm first. So it's really beneficial. And it's not just Australia. We sent one last year to Japan. I've sent 2 to America this year, 1 to Ireland. It is really exciting about where they go, and a lot of it is preference. It's optional. we're really lucky to be offered vacancies, and we'll try and assist them as much as we can in the process to get them over there. But these people that are offering the vacancies have a belief in what we offer, so they have an idea of what they're getting when that individual lands off a plane. And yeah, it's been really successful kind of building relationships with international employers as well. Yeah, connection is everything in this industry. Like I said, it's a
Absolutely.
real community feel.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Connection is everything. You're so right. And so we've talked a little bit about the training programs and the educational opportunities that you offer on the stud farm yourself, Abbie, at the National Stud. But you mentioned at the top about apprenticeships, which I think is something is of real interest. There's a lot of chat in the news and in various different sectors. Construction and trades is a big one, obviously. About the positivity of apprenticeships and the possibilities that they offer to people. We've just got a few minutes left, but let's have a little chat about that. How did the apprenticeships scheme that you run with Myasco, and I know Kat from Myasco has done fantastic work on this with you, how did that come about? And do you want to just talk us a little bit through how it's going, what people could expect, and why people might want to get involved with apprenticeships as well?
So at the National Stud tradition, we've run residential training programs for those aged 18 and over. Options for those aged 16 and between 16 and 18 often is equine college if they have an interest in college. But yeah, if coming from an FE background, teaching background, the expectation now is for a lot of those learners to be very academic and sit, multiple summative exams. That doesn't always suit the learner that you've got in front of you. We're seeing, getting a lot of feedback from people that they're moving away from horse handling and the practical side to more classroom-based theory in colleges, and that kind of matches the awarding body, what the requirement is, what criteria they set. So it's not necessarily the college's fault, but as a result, we were getting a lot of calls from individuals that wanted to work in the industry, especially locally. We're based in Newmarket, that might not want to go to college or want to drop out of college, but need an option, but have to stay in education until they're 18. So the demand was there, and they might not be riders, or they might have no interest in pursuing a work rider route or a jockey route. So what is on offer? And we kind of broached I took some advice and broached Myasco. They're a great college. They successfully run farrier qualifications and obviously apprenticeships. And the conversation started. And then we managed to set it up. We advertised, and actually we had quite a lot of queries and applications for apprenticeships. We had some employers on board, and that's how it basically started rolling. It's I think when you start any program, it's always a slow burner. It's always hard to take the leap to take on an apprentice unless you've seen somebody else have success sometimes. But we've got 10 on program at the minute. And it's been really successful. Myasco are brilliant in supporting the individual learner. They offer one-to-one online maths and English tuition if they don't get their GCSEs to necessarily meet Gateway, which is kind of the box ticking before they move forward to their end exam. But they're a real benefit to the employer. So not only have you got someone that's young and willing to learn, you've got someone that wants to be outside. They don't want to be in the classroom, and they fit in really, really well. We're lucky to have our own apprentice here. She's done brilliantly, and she can run a mare a foal yard, and by not being in that classroom environment, by learning hands-on, by earning a wage as well. So that's a big bonus for the apprentices, is that they're earning and learning. They don't have to go to college at all. You're getting like a really, really good employee. And also your impact in the training is quite big as well, because you're training them how you would like them to be maybe in, ideally a year's time. And then if you want to employ them further, then you can extend their contract. So you've actually been involved and accountable for their learning. And I think that is it works really well for farms. It's been really positive, and if anyone's considering it, definitely advise thinking or considering an apprentice in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a big take home, isn't it? That if you are thinking about it, if you would consider having an apprentice, then Abbie and the team at Myerscough and the National Stud are available for advice and wisdom and to point you in the right direction on whether that is an option that might be right for anyone's business or anyone's stud. So that's definitely something to think about. We've covered a lot of ground there in 15 minutes, Abbie. But thank you very much. And the National Stud is also open, so you can go around there for tours. You can go see the stallions. Many people will know that there is Stradivarius, Diego, there's Lope Fernandez, there is, who am I missing? Bradsell, and there is Raja Singh, who's had a lot of press this week as well, bless him. And he's got some runners at Goodwood coming up. So, Abbie, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to chat, and we will catch up soon. One of the big member benefits that we have here at the TBA, whether you're an Access member or a full member, and if you are not an Access member, it is definitely something to look into because it costs from as little as £5 per month, which is not a lot of cash. It's only a coffee and a bit these days. But one of the things that you have access to is the TBA Bursary. If we can help you out with anything to do with your career, that is what the bursary is for. We've had these going for a few years now, so we've had a few recipients of the bursary here at the TBA, and we would love to let you know what it is all about and how you can get access to it. So I'm joined today by one of our wonderful trustees, Jan Hopper, who will be well known to many of you listening to this. And she has been part of the educational portfolio here at the TBA since joining us as a trustee. Hello, Jan.
Hello, nice to see you.
It's lovely to have you. Thank you so much. First of all, tell us, what is your interest in the kind of educational side of things with regards to breeding, and why are you enjoying being part of the education committee and things as well, Jan?
Well, I started off as a small breeder, probably some 30 years ago, aiming to breed a sprint handicapper, and ended up with some nice horses along the way. But I realised that you always need help with everything you do, people to help you along. And I love the idea of helping out to get people to learn about the industry and become involved in the industry. And we've kept recently our mares at the National Stud, who do a lot of the training courses that are supported by the TBA. And one of the best things I find is when you go racing and you see one of your horses racing and someone comes up to you and said, "Do you know I foaled your mare when I was on my training course?" And I think it is the most wonderful thing. I was myself a teacher for quite a while as well, so I'm very interested in education.
Education and employment goes along with that as well. You know, I think recruitment, employment, retention, we talk about all the time. And I guess one of the things we're interested in is how do we help people who are in the industry, get better at their job, be well prepared for staying on where they are or potentially moving up the chain as we go, but also just being really happy in their work. And education and training and the bursary that sits with that is definitely something that we would love to talk about. So do you want to give us a little flavour, Jan, of what we know about the bursary, and then we will talk a little bit more detail?
Yes, well, the bursary is a grant, really. There's the best way of describing it, from the TBA to people who would like some assistance with some aspect of a course that they would like to do. It can be a long training course, it could be the stud farming course, it could be some of the training courses that the TBA do, or it could indeed be a lecture programme, and you can apply for up to £500 to assist you with that. And that could either be for the fees of the course itself, or actually it could be if you have to move away from home, have to move your home for a while, you know, to visit somewhere to be on the course, you could need some accommodation. It might be for transport, it could be for any aspect. It doesn't have to be just for the fees of the course.
So as a good example of that, we run the stud farming course here at the TBA, which is in Newmarket for 3 days. And obviously there's costs associated with that. So getting here is one thing, staying here is one thing, plus the actual cost of the course. And so all these things are the kind of thing that would be covered off by the bursary. I think the other thing that we really wanted to let people know about is the fact that you can get other things that will help you with your career. So equipment, for example. So if you need a new laptop, if you're starting a business or you're doing a course, that sort of thing those are big one-off expenditures that actually having some help with is super useful.
It's really important. It would certainly give you a big step up the up the ladder if you've got the correct equipment. And if that's something that's slightly putting you off applying, then I think the bursary could be really useful to just give you that little push in the right direction, help you get started.
Definitely. And what else do we want people to know, Jan? I know just encouraging people to apply and to talk to us here at the TBA is a big thing. Do you want to just chat about that a little
Well, I
bit?
think if you could. There are so many courses that you can do. As you've said, you can be just starting out. You could be maybe coming out of school or college and university, or you could be wanting to change your career direction and go maybe from racing into bloodstock breeding, or you could be maybe going from a hands-on job to a stud secretary's job, and you need to go on a course to just fill the gap in your knowledge and help you along the way. And you can find out about those courses from the TBA website, or from the National Stud website, and you're welcome to ring up any of those, either of those places as well, to have a chat or to email somebody to find out a little bit more. But there's also Careers in Racing website, which you could look at, or perhaps even the Racing School or the National Horse Racing College in Yorkshire. Any of those might have some information on courses that you might like to do. So there's plenty of information out there. So get hunting, find out what it is that you'd like to do, get some advice, and there might be a course for you with a little bursary just to help you along the way, to get yourself started.
Definitely. And I think 100% one of the most important things is if you've got an idea that you want to think about doing, and it's not necessarily of a TBA course or one held by the National Stud, but it's something that you're really interested in, just speak to us. I say this all the time on this podcast, but we love hearing from people, and actually that's what we are here for, is to serve people in the breeding industry. We're here to look after horses and help you with those, but we're also here to help people, and we want to really assist and enable people to grow their careers. So if you have any questions about the bursary, or you're not sure if it is for you, then please do just drop us an email or give us a ring here at TBA headquarters, because we will 100% be able to answer your questions. Even if it's not the first person that you get hold of, someone will be able to answer it somewhere. And we would love to be doing more with the bursary. I think I said before, giving people cash as an opportunity to grow is such a privilege that we have. And actually, we really want to do it. So please do get in touch with us.
And all you actually have to do is to fill in a form and send it off. And that's all you have to do. There's not a great deal of information that you have to give. Just explain what it is, why you think you would be a person who would benefit from the bursary. And that's literally all you have to do. So it's not a hard thing to apply for. The form's online, go and get it and see how you get on.
And I mentioned at the top of this segment, Jan, that it's open to people who are either full members of the TBA or access members. For anyone who doesn't know, who's listening to this, can you just tell us a little bit about what access membership entails?
Well, the access membership is for people who perhaps are not full breeders themselves, but are wanting to learn more about breeding, be involved in the industry. And it costs you £60 a year. Which is not a great deal, as Naomi's already said. And for that, you get access to all the wonderful educational TBA courses and a lot of other information that's provided. So it's well worthwhile being an access member, not just to access the bursary, but for many other reasons as well.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said at the top, we have just recently introduced the possibility of paying monthly for that as well, because we know that sometimes paying out a lump sum of any amount is tough. And cost of living at the moment is not making things easy for anyone. So if you would prefer to pay monthly, then we do have that as an option as well. So do have a look at the TBA website for that. And just finally, Jan, is there a closed window for this? Because I know with some applications for grants and bursaries, people can only apply during quite a narrow period. Is this open all the time, or how do people get hold of it?
Well, this is definitely open all the time, all year round. So whenever your course starts, it doesn't matter when it is, you can apply for it. You can apply for it well in advance so that you know that you've got the funds in order to go on the course. So it is very, very open. So
Cool.
yeah.
So whatever bit of the breeding and bloodstock world you're interested in, whether that is practical jobs on the ground, whether you're interested in office-based staff or marketing or media or anything else, do have a think about what you might like to do and how the TBA can help you. As Jan said, the form that you need to fill in is available via the TBA website. Drop us a line. There's an Caroline who looks after education and employment for us. Her email address is on the website there. So do drop us a line if you have any questions or give us a ring. Jan, thank you. It's a pleasure to chat. That's all for today. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at thetba.gb and don't forget to tag us in your posts. We're always here to help, so do give us a ring or drop us an email at info@thetba.co.uk if you need anything. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back in a couple of weeks and we really hope that you'll join us then.